Hi guys, it's Liz here with My Work Basket. I just went away for a few days and I have come back home and my car is full of stuff I want to show you. So you can see I'm kind of sitting in my car right now. The sun is super bright, so I'm hoping that the lighting on this isn't absolutely awful. It's actually like right there. So as I record the car, the lighting will be a little bit better. But I just have so much to show you and I just wanted to get started. So I figured the best way to do it would be as I kind of work on unloading my car, show you what I can find. So I'm gonna try to situate the camera to where you can get a good view of what I'm doing and talk to you and show off some of my new stuff. All right, so I've got the camera kind of situated as best I can manage, and I'm gonna try and hold stuff up for you to see it. So I do have a couple of games in here. They are unrelated to the channel, but I run a homeschool group and I also just own a ton of games. So I did take my sewing project for the year, my handmade porcelain dolls and their clothing. I did cut out that green fabric I talked about. Unfortunately, I didn't get a whole lot of time to work on it, so this is all that I have so far. The bodice top, I have to do the neckline, add the sleeves. As you can see, the doll is in there too. I took Meg with me to work on, so this is going to be Meg's dress. There's still a lot of work left on this. I haven't even done a lot of like fine tuning or adjusting. There's a few seams that I want to work on. But, so I did cut out that green fabric and I took that with me to work on, although I did not make a lot of progress. I actually, right as I started this project, I found this tin at auction and I bought this for this project specifically. So that is my sewing box for that exact project. Game wise, still, I was really excited about this one. It just looks very artsy and fun. Although so you try to like explain what they are, I think, while the person's blindfolded and pretending to be sleeping. Still wrapped in the plastic. And I got it for next to nothing. I got a pair of dirty socks because I took those off while I was loading my car. A jar of cane patch syrup for my husband. This is a doll that I've had for a long time. It is extremely dirty. I actually loaned it to my niece. And then she outgrew dolls, so I'm bringing her back home. And then we start to get to more of the fun stuff. The stuff I really need to talk about. A large portion of what you see here in the car, and it's quite loaded. I'm trying to zoom in a bit, but I kind of can't at this angle. A large portion of this is crafty stuff. So this white box, it's kind of taped up. I don't know if I can kind of get it open to show you. It's like a miniature weaving loom. It's kind of neat. I loaned it to my mom, and then she's sending it back my way. But it all snaps together. It's like a floor, it's shaped like a floor loom, but just it's small. And that's nice for doing like placemats and purses. It's kind of a toy, but it's very functional. I have completed projects on that, so that'll be home and going back on my weaving shelf. Now, if one of your questions is, Alicia, where are you going to put all this stuff? The answer is, I don't know. I do not know where I'm going to put most of this stuff, actually, and you'll see as I kind of get to it. So one thing that is filling up a large portion of the car, it's in this pile, it's in this pile, it's over there, is knitting machines and accessories to go with said knitting machines. So last year, right around the start of the pandemic, I don't really know how far into the pandemic we were, but it was not very far. I can't remember if it was spring or summer. My parents found on, I think it was Facebook Marketplace near them, some knitting machines and some yarn. So they went to pick it up. They got a truckload full of yarn, and I PayPal'd down the money to the seller for my knitting machines. So I bought 2 knitting machines with ribber attachments, and then the person who had done it was very into it. And so this bin is attachments and parts. Over here is attachments and parts. This is books and patterns right here. There's another box like this underneath. So most of what you see is knitting machine related. So I was finally able to go and pick up my knitting machines. Unfortunately, none of the yarn really fit in the car. I mean, I could have tucked in like a cone or two, but I left the yarn, especially because I'm trying to do the summer of stash. I'm trying to work down what I've got. I took some pictures of the yarn, of which there is a ton for me at my mom and dad's house. So I took pictures of those, and I'll try and post some of those for you, but it is a lot of yarn. It will probably fill my car again when I go to pick up the yarn. I think I paid $200 each for the machine and ribber, and I got 2. And then they gave extra yarn, and my mom bought yarn. So my mom, I think, paid $50 for yarn. She kept a bunch and saved me more of the cone yarns that she didn't think she would use. And for that, it was enough cones that it would probably fill my car. I have a small kind of crossover mini SUV thing, and yeah, it would have filled the luggage space in my car with the yarn that she bought. So then I have 2 of these bins. One of them is actually under the floorboard. I'm not going to get to show it to you. They are full of punch card patterns and books of punch card patterns and knitting machine stuff. I never actually pulled this out. This is tuck knitting designs and patterns. So both, I have 2 of these, and they are all knitting machine related patterns and punch card patterns, and I'm hoping, just by luck, that a puncher for punch cards is in here to be able to do your own, because I do have a few blank punch cards and you can still buy punch cards. So hopefully one of these bins has a punch card puncher. If not, I'm gonna have to buy one. But it is just book after book after book of patterns and punch cards and patterns and punch cards. I do feel a little bit bad. The people I bought it from had other machines, and since I was first, they kind of included most of the extras, like the punch cards, with my purchase. So these boxes are things that I purchased while I was there. These 2 boxes are actually the only things I really purchased while I was there. I bought some clothes to use for my dolls. Those are also under the floorboards, I think, so I won't really be able to show those. This is a winter coat that my mom got for me a while ago, and it was so hot that I was like, I don't want to try it on. I barely put it on, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take it home. She couldn't use it. It doesn't get cold enough down there. The coat that I have has gotten me through multiple Arctic blasts, but I was like, I'll take it home and see from there. So before I get too into the kind of crafty stuff, I'm still kind of working around the edges here. I did bring home some new artwork that my mom had. This has these nails because it was kind of in a frame. I left the frame. I told her she could keep it. A lot of this type of canvas I just hang as is, so I don't necessarily need a frame for it unless it's already framed. And it was falling out of the frame anyway, so I said I would just take this. And this was painted on July 3rd, 1991. It is an oil. They were in the Greenville, I'm guessing, or Greeleyville something, Rep Women's Club. So that one was kind of cute. Most of the stuff that's in my car is actually not going in my house today. I do have to pick up groceries, and I'm just gonna have them put it in the back seat. This was neat. It's not antique, it's made to look antique, because this is actually just plastic. But then it's got a brown velvet, the picture inside. So I thought that was really cute. I have one like really big grocery bag right here that I'm kind of filling with stuff to carry into my house. Oh. Sorry about that, got a bit noisy for a second. The foosball machine is my son's foosball table, not machine. My son collects monkeys, kind of collects monkeys, used to collect monkeys. He's 14, so it's still being decided, but they had this for him and he wanted to bring that home. Give me just a second. I'm going to move this out of the way, but I'm not going to take it in the house yet. All right, sorry about that. I stopped recording for a second because as I took the foosball table around to the side of the car, My neighbor came out. We're in a townhouse, so his spot is right next to mine. You probably heard me say hello. I didn't know if he was going to want to chat. I knew he was going to back his car out and it'd be kind of noisy, so I just stopped for a second. I haven't actually unpacked anything else, so you didn't miss anything. Look, Ma, I found your cloth. I took one of my mom's dust cloths out to kind of dust off the knitting machines and stuff as I loaded them into the car. And then I was like, we were done, and I was like, well, where's the cloth? So it got put here under the foosball table. Luckily, they have a drawer full. So what I will show you next is some of the stuff I bought. It's kind of hard to unpack and see. One of the things I thought was super fun, I was most in love with it. Also, this paper, totally going in my glue book and junk journal. Can you see how fun that is? I cannot see very much with this camera of what you actually see. So I got this. I'm gloomy today. I'm glad today. I am tired today. I am angry today. And my mom said it sounds like it has change in it, and it absolutely does have change in it. I didn't even notice that. The stopper on the bottom is extremely, if I take it out, I don't think it's going back in. It's extremely dry, but it is a bank, and I just thought that was the cutest thing. So I got that. I don't know where, it does have a chip right here that's been repaired. Dave R 19, looks like 65 copyright. I can't quite tell. Japan 19. It could be 85. There's a little bit of right in here, but you can't really read the number very well. It has been cracked across the bottom. I do not intend to use it as a bank because it just doesn't look like it could take the abuse of the weight of all those coins. Another thing that I bought was this leaf plate. I did not actually pay $3. So the thrift store that I bought this at prices their items, but when you get to the checkout, your total is never the total of those prices. So it's, I say that game is like, whose line is it anyway? The prices are made up and the stickers don't matter because they mean nothing. The one game that I got that was still brand new in the package had an $8 sticker on it. I got it at that thrift store, plus that plate, plus that bank, plus a bunch of other stuff, and my total was $10. So I don't know if they just don't like to add, or I don't know, but you never pay what you think you're going to pay. I got some new coffee mugs. I always buy milk glass type when I find them. I don't know if you can see the label on that or not. It's just an F and a shield, USA 35. I got 2 of those. I do buy milk glass pretty much whenever I can find it. But my family also fights over our normal sized coffee mug. We have like one perfectly normal size and shape of coffee mug. And everybody in my family is like, well, that one's my favorite. So the thrift store that I like to go to while I'm there, coffee mugs are 20 for $1. You heard me right, 20 for $1. So I got any of the kind of cool, funky, older ones that they had. 1 lump or 2, and it's one of the monsters from Sandra Boynton. This I put in a bag just because I had it handy while I was loading the car. It's more of a, this is actually what some of our other mugs look like, but our other mugs that look like this are large shapes. Bermuda. The love mug. That one's I like that one because it reminds me of restaurants. Which in the past I've gotten restaurant mugs from there. I think I gave one to a friend of mine. I also, these were actually just from my mom. It's a stack of fondue forks. I do have a full vintage fondue set. And then we also have a, we have an electric s'mores maker, and it uses fondue sticks. So having more fondue sticks means more people can make s'mores at the same time. I'm going to put some of these in my bag to go in the house. All right. Everything's not going to fit, but I also bought some utensils just because I need them. None of the utensils in my house match. I always buy them like this at thrift stores when they're like 4 for $1, 10 for $1, 20 for $1. We actually do have some more of this exact set. I love to kind of get different ones and then find out they match. Recently I bought, I think it was a spoon that had this handle, so now I have a spoon and a knife that match. But I always buy unmatched cutlery, and just like if we need forks, I buy forks. If we need spoons, I buy spoons. Recently we needed forks and I bought forks, and then I got home and we had plenty of forks, but now we keep running low on spoons. So while I was there, I just bought everything. I just bought a fistful of forks and spoons. Okay, so most of this top box is sewing patterns and smaller magazines. The one store I went to, sewing patterns were 10 cents a piece. The funny thing is, I hate sewing with sewing patterns, but I love buying them. This one's Barbie and Ken. I don't even actually check them, honestly, because if the pieces aren't there, then I'll just use them for junk journaling and stuff. This, I know these dolls are a little kind of outdated. They're very like 90s, but I thought the clothes might be neat to make, especially those little bell-bottom looking pants for some dolls. Another Barbie pattern. I just thought those were super cute. I do love to make dolls and toys. I actually might have this one, but for 10 cents I wasn't going to risk it. I love that vest. And when I buy these type of patterns, I don't really pay attention to the sizing. If they're cheap, I don't pay attention to the sizing or if all the pieces are there. If the pieces are not there, I'll cut them up and use them for other projects. My son, I think I've talked about it before. My son is 6'4". He is huge. And so I've talked to him about how maybe we should just start making his clothes. He actually likes to sew. He likes modifying his clothes. You know, so recently he's been like cutting the sleeves off of long sleeve shirts to make sleeves that are the length he likes and stuff like that. So I bought several men's sewing patterns in case he wants to kind of get into that. I know for a fact I already have this issue of the work basket, but I never don't buy the work basket. All the ones I'm showing you right now, I paid 10 cents a piece. I filled this box and a bag, and my total was like $17. And the money from that thrift store goes to St. Jude. I paid with a 20 and told him to keep it. I felt bad. It was like stealing to get this stuff. That's another one for my son if he wants to try it. I felt bad getting this much stuff for $17. I told him, I was like, at home, that much stuff, I'd probably be paying $100. Like, but I got this box, everything you're seeing in this box, plus a bunch of stuff from the next box, and my total was $17 and some change. I was like, that's no like super amazing finds in my opinion, but a lot of fun stuff. And my mom especially, she was saying like, why, you know, so oh, these were actually in my car. I do not know these people. My dad was like, who are these people? Because he found it, they own a car wash. He was cleaning my car. He's like, who are these people? I was like, you know, I don't know, just tuck it back in there. It probably came in an auction box lot or like a book or something, and I keep them. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird like that. But so that is box number 1 of things that I purchased, and it just keeps going. This whole second box, let me see how much you can see of that. So this whole second box is, sorry, the camera's actually like above my head and the sun's shining on it. So the lighting I think is good for the video, but I can't see at all while I'm talking of what you see. And hold on just a second. All right, sorry about that. The FedEx truck just pulled like right next to me. So, all right, so the second box is all books, magazines, booklets. This stack, I believe, is actually, this box is from 2 places. So this box isn't entirely from the first store that I went to. It's a combination of the 2. But even so, I think I paid both boxes plus the stuff under the seat. My total between 2 thrift stores was $17, and my total at a 3rd thrift store was $25. So Thrift stores are cheap there. I tell my parents seeing them is a perk, and the thrift stores are the real thing. I won't show you every one of these. I am planning to do a video separately where I flip through all of these for you and show you everything I got. I also got a vintage copy of Password, so that should be fun. But yeah, this whole, there's more sewing patterns in there. So I showed you the one box of sewing patterns. I'm going to do a separate video where I flip through everything that is in this box, minus the Password game. I'll take that out. So I have more paintings and artwork on that side of the car, painting on this side of the car, knitting machine stuff. If you see, I think you can see pool noodles. The pool noodles are for the homeschool group I run. Hang on just a second again. All right, I am back again. I'm sorry about that. I guess that's what I get for literally recording in a parking lot. One of my neighbors pulled up again, different neighbor. All that you missed was I did pull one book, sorry, out of this box, so that when I record it later, it's not in there. It's a book I bought for my son. I just didn't think he'd want you to see it. I don't know. It's just not crafty. It's not channel related. So, and I pulled this out from the side over here. I don't even know if you can tell where I'm pointing. So I pulled this out to show you. This was a diamond painting. My grandmother, my father's mother did that for me. It's a kitty cat. It's cute. So I pulled that out. That's been at their house waiting to come home to me for a while now. So I'll do a few more things, and then, you know, I'm not going to go into every detail for the knitting machine stuff because that's probably going to be at least one more video in and of itself. There's two of these drawer bins. Let me check what you can see here. There's two of these drawer bins stacked up here, this whole green tote, and 4 boxes over there is all knitting machine stuff. So I did buy this funny wooden cat. I don't know, I liked it, but then also I was originally going to play a trick on my husband and tell him I was bringing another cat home and make him think I'd actually found a kitten. Where we just came from is actually where we got our current cat. So it would be kind of funny because he'd be like, you know, oh no, not again. I ended up not doing that for various reasons, but I do still have this super cute cat. And yeah, all this stuff I know cannot go in my house. So, so this bin is all machines and parts for the knitting machine. I'm gonna actually unhook the camera here. Hold on just a second. It might get blurry. Might get movie. Okay, so this whole bin is filled with stuff for the knitting machine. This is a replacement carriage, $248 plus shipping and tax. But the funny thing is, it's like it's a replacement, but the original is in here. So I don't entirely know what the replacement is for. But there are just all sorts of carriage components in here for the knitting machine. That's actually a note that I wrote to my son when he was little, and it somehow ended up in a pile of stuff I gave my mom. So that whole bin, big bin, is knitting machine stuff. It is staying in my car until it's ready to go in the house. And then I have these 2 bins here, so they're labeled for which machine they go with. Although this one I don't think is, that's this 264. I bought a 260, but the pieces inside of it do seem to, yeah, so I bought the 860, so I don't know if it's mislabeled, and it's got parts and pieces, including a thing called a D-knit. I think that's going to be interesting. I don't entirely know what it does, but the sheer idea of it sounds good, because unknitting and frogging on a knitting machine, usually I just don't. I give up and like start my whole project over. And then this one is predominantly claw weights and some carriage components and different pieces. So I'm going to have to go through and pick and sort what all is in all of this knitting machine stuff. The machines themselves are in original boxes, but they're not fully packed up. So if you've ever gotten a knitting machine, all the different components that come with a knitting machine, all of the basics you need to work, fit in the machine almost like a giant suitcase. So a lot of this stuff, like this piece would usually be in with the machine. There's a bunch of stuff in here. This, well, not that piece. This tool would usually be in with the knitting machine, and my machines are not packed up that way. It is just the machine in a bin and nothing else with it. So, you know, it's kind of more spread out than it needs to be. There you can see my knitting machines and my pool noodles. I don't think I finished explaining the pool noodles. The homeschool group that I work with does a LARP club, a LARP group, where they build safety padded weapons, and we go through pool noodles for that and other STEM projects. And at one point I could not find pool noodles anywhere, and we desperately needed them. And so my mom found some on clearance and bought them for us. And again, this was during the pandemic when we thought, you know, I'd see her in a month or two, not like a year and a half. So she had some pool noodles for me, and I just didn't think it was fair to keep taking up her space. And so I brought those home, even though we do have pool noodles now. But those are the knitting machines, the box of stuff. I'll show you these paintings real quick, and then I'm going to end off this video. Let me see. I'm going to have to... So I do have more than 50 original paintings in my house, and a friend of the family had some paintings they got, I guess at auction or something, and things like that tend to come my way. This one's a really nice one. It does need some dusting. The paintings will go in the house with me today so that they're not out in the weather probably. Also, it's usually pretty easy to hang paintings. Both of these two will go in my living room. I put all of the scenery scenes in the living room. And then I have other parts of the house for other scenes and styles. So, and then this one. So that is that. I mean, I would try and turn the camera around to say goodbye to you today. But if I turn it around, I can't also turn the camera. And for all I know, I'm going to have you accidentally looking up my nose. So that is that. That is a bunch of the fun stuff that I have to talk to you about. There will be more videos soon where I go through this box and show you everything that's in it. There will be more videos where I go over my new knitting machines and all of the bins, and then things that I make with the knitting machines and all that. So the knitting machines are probably going to live in my car for another day or two. Hopefully when I take that foosball table in, that seat is enough space for groceries, because I have a grocery pickup in a few hours. So that is that. I hope this video is recording the right direction, because I think when I unmounted my camera, it did not flip over. So hopefully that worked out. All right, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and stick around. There'll be more videos. Have a great day.